Ukrainian President Zelenskyy is urging U.S. businesses to strengthen their stance against the Kremlin. In a virtual address to Congress, Zelenskyy asked American companies to exit their operations in Russia. Take a listen.
All American companies must leave Russia from their market, leave their market immediately because it is flooded with our blood.
Zelenskyy also called for American ports to be closed to Russia. And Brian, companies like McDonald's have already shut their doors in the country. But really, this is the biggest call that we've heard so far from Ukraine for the West and for U.S. private companies specifically to further isolate Russia. What do you make of this move and really what we've been hearing from Zelenskyy and from other Ukrainian officials in recent days?
Yeah, well, I mean, there are a number of companies that also haven't announced anything with regards to a possible exit from the Russia market. When you take a look, for example, at Subway and big hotel operators like, for example, Marriott, they said they won't be doing investments in Russia, but the hotels are still open. So Zelenskyy is not just appealing to Congress, which was the point of his address this morning, but trying to speak to the larger business community as well, because it's not like we should expect the Biden administration to order all U.S. companies or publicly traded companies to immediately halt their operations overseas. Now, of course, the other big question is going to be what can the U.S. government do? And that's where Zelenskyy was also hitting on a number of other policy proposals, like, for example, instituting the no-fly zone, which seems to still have a bipartisan I guess, pushback because of the concern that would only further escalate the situation in Ukraine. But either way, the president, Volodymyr Zelenskyy, making it very clear on all fronts in the U.S. Government policy, but also on the corporate side of things, look, we need more help.
Absolutely, Brian. And I think, coming, of course, from President Zelensky's perspective, of course, it does make sense that as the leader of a nation, he would want to make the biggest and most sweeping asks possible when it comes to getting support for his people. But certainly something we'll continue to monitor in the days ahead.